Hey there, lovely. Welcome to the Radiantly Dressed podcast. Do you want to feel beautiful and confident and look put together in your clothes? Do you find yourself scrolling Pinterest looking for capsule wardrobes and outfit ideas? Do you walk into your closet hoping for an easy wardrobe solution only to feel frustrated and frumpy when nothing looks or feels like you want it to? Hey there, I'm Stacey. I'm a busy homeschooling mom juggling life, business, and struggling with autoimmune disease. Just like you, I felt overwhelmed and frustrated with my closet and wished I had an easy to put together wardrobe that reflected who I am on the inside, the woman that God is constantly refining. But I just could not figure out how to have easy mornings and authentic style until I found the power of color analysis and capsule wardrobes. In this podcast, you'll find how to wear and use your best colors, a proven framework to create an easy closet full of clothes you love, and how to do it all in a way that honors who God created you to be so that frumpy fashion doesn't get in the way of your faith and mission. So put in your favorite earrings, swipe on some lipstick, and let's get dressed. Hey there, sister. This is usually the part of the episode where I tell you what's going on, what the latest new thing is that we're doing. I tell you about a program or how you can get connected, but I am on maternity leave. So if you would like to connect with me, the team at Radiantly Dressed, work on your style, I have a couple different ways that you can join in even while I'm on maternity leave to get you moving forward in your personal style journey. Number one, please join the free Facebook community we have. It is wonderful. We have over 1,000 amazing members inside. That's at christianstylecommunity.com. Number two, if you're really struggling with your self-image and how you feel about yourself, and you're ready to learn to love what you see in the mirror and move forward confidently with your day in a style that suits you, then I invite you to join the Radiant by Design membership. It's only $7 a month. You will get all kinds of amazing course content, mindset work, biblical mindset work, and just really begin to learn who you are in God's eyes. And that is at radiantbydesigncollective.com. You can also get connected by following any of the links below this episode that will lead you to free affirmations, creating a free color palette, or any of the other courses, programs, and digital products that I offer. I can't wait to see the radiant woman that you'll become over the next few months. Hello, everybody. We are here. It's showing that it's here. Now, where's my meeting? Get back over here. Okay, I want to be able to see it. Okay. All right, so we are here this morning with Becki Zingg, our Style Star for September, right? We're in October, what month it is. And first of all, before we get started, why don't you tell everybody in the group how you earn these 15 minutes with me?
By just doing what I always do. Posting, liking, commenting. This is my favorite place to engage, so just doing what I normally do.
Yep. So that's how you win the 15 minutes every month. We have a Style Star. You be the top person with the top engagement, and that includes comment, post, and likes. And Facebook tells me who it is every month, and I don't have to do anything special. Just be active in the group, and it could be you next month. And it gives you a chance to ask your questions, your burning questions, and get my help one-on-one for free, which this is like the only way to get it for free. So Becki, having said that, you've been with me a long time. I think that you might have been one of the first people to join my Facebook group when I started. So like you've been with me a very long time, and I know that you've learned so much and your style is pretty cemented at this point. So what questions actually do you have for me today?
I feel like I have not yet found an ideal dress silhouette. And part of the challenge is that I cannot make dresses that aren't petites work for multiple reasons because I have a really short torso. So that takes out of the running a lot of companies that just don't even make petite dresses.
As a fellow tiny person, I understand this problem. And as a dress expert, perhaps I fully, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I'm setting myself up too much here. But as somebody who wears dresses every day, I do understand that finding the silhouette can be difficult because they're all so different. So for everybody ahead of time, Becki sent me some pictures and I am going to go through them. And so what I'm actually going to do here, oh my goodness, when I find the right page, is go through and kind of do an analysis of the pictures that you sent me, kind of what I see. Let me make sure I am in the right meeting, right?
You are in the right meeting.
All right. Right, tab. I'm a tab expert. Okay, I have I have your color analysis pulled up too, because I had some thoughts on that when I was going through this. Okay,
Okay.
so Becki sent me 7 pictures of herself and one dress she was thinking about buying. So what I'm gonna do here is just go through each of these. And I'm
Can I
not,
tell you the ones that aren't petites?
I can kind of tell, but you can tell me.
Okay, good. Okay.
So, okay, so first thing I want to note is like we've never really talked about essence. I know it's not something you're super digging into, but when I look at these, I can see some trends in essence, and I can see some trends in the things that I know that you like to wear. And so if I had to just take a quick stab without really thinking too much about it, my first thoughts were that classic is your primary, and you probably got gamine and ingenue kind of mixing in there as well. And I say that because I know classic is one of them. Like I'm 100% sure that classic is probably your main one. Because of the way you like jackets and styling and tailoring, and some of that structure in your clothing. Also, when I look at this, the color palette that I see is it's pretty cohesive, and I feel like yours isn't super large, which is actually why
No.
I pulled your color palette, because I was actually just doing one of the recording lessons this last week for the new course that talks about essences in relation to color, and I was going through the classic stuff, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually a perfect example of the way classic essences use color, because they tend to stick to neutrals with just a few like AKA classic sort of colors, like a cobalt blue or a red. You don't have a red dress here. You have wine, but not red. You have red here, red. And then you have some seasonal pops like the lighter coral color that you use. And of course, navy, black and white are in there. And so I pulled your color palette because I was thinking about color diversity a little bit too. And of course, we created this. This was like a long time ago we did this. But you wear the cornflower, the cobalt's a signature. You wear the red a lot, and kind of this lighter coral color up here. So that was just something that was in my mind as I was looking at your pictures, because I did see a lot of that coming through in the colors that you picked. But you want to talk about silhouettes after I rambled for a few minutes. Okay, so what I see, interestingly enough, is actually a lot of consistency in the silhouette. I'm seeing that you're going for a fit and flare, so you want some waist definition. It's in this 1, 2, 3, 4. You created it here. 5. I can't tell about this dress how much is there, because I know
There's not any.
Okay,
it's on pier. Almost.
Okay, this dress is not a petite, and I can tell it's not a petite because I can tell by the waistband is the way it's curving down. And my suggestion when I saw this dress was, I think you really like this dress other than the fit. I would take it to a tailor and have them pull it.
I already had someone take it in at the zipper at the back, and it brought it up a little bit, but not enough without doing some major, because there are pleats and puffs and bleh. So
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, is this a sheared waistband? Is it like Ruth shearing, or is
it's gathered underneath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would almost say like maybe even just cinch the waist just a little bit and see if that pulls that up just a little bit. That might be better.
Okay.
The other interesting thing I see is that you tend to go with, ironically, you tend to go with tiered skirts. 1, 2, 3 of them.
Oh my goodness.
Which is a really interesting feature. Tiered skirts, well, they have been really trendy here lately. They kind of lean into that like boho natural vibe just a little bit. You could maybe say they're sort of ingenue, but they really do, like this dress especially, I get a lot of like boho-y kind of vibes from it. And so
that's the only boho outfit I have in my piece in my whole wardrobe.
Interesting because like from that perspective, it's that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, those prairie dresses have kind of been trending. I'm definitely getting it from this. I think this is a gingham, right? Is that right?
Yep.
The gingham is the only thing that's like making it not very prairie dress. This one with the light color, I'm definitely getting it here. And this one, I'm not getting it quite as much because you've got the sleeve styling, which is a little bit different. And it's such a bold, bright color. But yeah, that was one of the first things I was like, oh, there's a lot of tiered skirts here. So I want to talk about my favorite one. And I know that this one for you has caused some issues with how you feel in it and the fit. This one is my favorite. And I think, yes, this is my favorite. And what I love about it is that it gives off a vintagey kind of vibe. When you put everything together, it's very much that, like, if you think about the housewife from the 50s, that like fitted bodice with the fuller skirt. I actually really love this one, and I think that it taps into that classicness because it's harkening back to that vintage dress style, but it also has the fun of the polka dots. It has your colors here, so it's kind of marrying some of the best things that you enjoy. I love this keyhole neckline. It's such a cut right here, and then you have the sleeves, which have a little bit of that puff sleeve to them, but honestly, I think that sticking for me, like when I look at all these pictures together and I think about this one, is this one's leaning a little romantic, me actually, with the colorway and just the way it's cut and everything about it. It kind of has that look to it, but this one for sure is my favorite. It'll be interesting to see how people feel in the group that when they comment on this, if they agree or not, but honestly, I feel like it's going with more of a vintage cut for you is probably going to be the most flattering.
Do you know my issue with this one is I feel really busty, and because I'm short-waisted, I feel like it goes, oh, bosom. And that's the one thing about this that makes me kind of go, yeah.
It's interesting because I understand as somebody, again, a fellow busty person, why it feels that way, but I don't see it. It doesn't come across to me that way. Okay. And of course, like if it's feeling that way, you could always try minimizer bras, which will give you some squish.
I have a minimizer on in this picture.
Check mark, I did that. And it may be to the dart placement because it's right down the seam, like middle of your bust.
Okay.
Maybe the dart placement a little bit. It's also coming up across your bust. The darts may be placed better if they were like, you know how darts often will start like kind of center and then go down below. That type of dart might just be a little bit better for you. Also, these dresses will also, because they're typically in a stiffer fabric, not a knit, they're usually in a woven fabric. A lot of times they'll have darts across the back as well. So it may just be an issue of like choosing dart placement. But this for me is really my favorite out of all of them. I think this one is, I don't love this one for you.
Which one is that one?
When you were thinking about buying, like I really,
it's not the color I would order, but not even the cut or the anything.
I'm not sure. It would be interesting to see you try it because a wrap dress is sort of classic, but my thought is that it's a knit for sure, right? I remember it's a knit. You don't wear a lot of knits. Like everything here is a woven pretty much. So that's something else too, is that the classic, all that strong classic essence really needs the structure of the fabric. And so when you, it's okay in cardigans, right? They're kind of sweaters, things like that. But in a dress shape, I feel like you probably would be better off sticking to wovens versus.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, because I have somebody who could make dresses for me. So if we were picking because I really do like the burgundy dress in the top corner, I feel fabulous in that, but I do not like the neckline.
It's really
if I'm going to have somebody make a dress for me, I can cherry pick all my favorite parts about dresses and have somebody make one for me, you know. So yeah. So if we were going to do that, I do love the neckline in the blue and white polka dot one.
Keyhole. Like this would be me. I would like, Becki, this is their signature neckline for dresses because it wraps and it curves. Roundness is a feature of some of that softness that and when we talk about like essences and the dimensions and the spectrum and all this stuff, that's like all this deep stuff we talk about, but the roundness is like a soft aspect, which helps it, you know, it kind of balances that the stiffness of the classic with some of your softness too. I love this neckline. I would definitely talk to her about dart placement and how this makes you feel busty, and try to find some ways around that for sure.
That dress actually has princess theming, so it like the the princess theming that kind of goes down through your bust. That's actually
I think this one, I do like the skirt on this one, like, but like you said, like it's the deep V and the coloring together that kind of throws it off a little bit. And so I think if the neckline was different, but the skirt to me is fine. Actually, I do like the sleeves on this one too, because they have that little cuffing here, which is that kind of gamine and classic thing coming into play. And you have it here and you have it here. It's interesting that this isn't my favorite, because I know you wear so many classic styles, but I just feel like this is so much better.
I just noticed that's the picture of me with two different colored sneakers on because I couldn't decide.
It's okay, I do that sometimes too. So yeah, so I would say, yeah. And of course, if you're talking to her, like, obviously have her mock up like one version for you that you can like get it right before she starts making you a whole bunch, obviously. But that also allows you to pull the patterns that you want, the colors that you want, the fabrics that you really want. And you can go, like I could imagine like if you had like a dress similar to one of these in the gingham, it would be so great, right? Especially if you went fun with like a lighter gingham, like the cornflower that you've used sometimes or something like that, just to give you some variety and variation.
So if you were going to ditch the navy dress, I wear a lot in the winter because I just don't have a lot of winter dresses. But that one, like, really doesn't have a whole lot of shape. And, so it's like, if I were going to ditch a dress, would that be the one you ditch?
Is there a waist seam here?
I do have a waist, sort of.
There's a seam here though on this dress, right?
Yes, there's a seam, and the top fabric is a different material than
This
the
is
bottom.
the next one where I would say to have the waist alter just a tiny bit, because I can see that it's sagging here, which means there's like
big.
a bit of a fit issue. And I feel like if you had it altered a little bit, it would fit better. It would fit and look better. And sometimes that's really the trick. It's because if you think about fashion construction and fashion production, it's made, big box for standard body sizes. And once upon a time, that's not how clothing was made, right? It was made for your body. And even when they first started bringing out like made to wear kind of clothing, people would buy it and alter it at home or take it to someone and have it altered. And so a lot of times all you need to do to save a garment, to save a piece of clothing that you overall kind of like, is really just some small alterations. And there are some alterations that I'll tell you are not worth the money or the time, like shoulders, things like that. Like you don't want to go there. But something like a waist, nipping in a waist is a pretty small alteration, and fairly inexpensive as well. That will make a big difference in how something like this looks.
Okay. And the other dress that's not a petite, I have two of, and that is the gingham one in the bottom corner. And that dress it's I'd have to take it up at the shoulders because there's too much blues and blue. I can't pronounce the word. It blues. Thank you. There's too much fabric in between my shoulder and where the waist is, and that actually is.
I don't love to say on this. The length is a little bit wrong. It's wrong for me. Like honestly, the length needs to be a little bit shorter, or just go all the way down. Like this is strange length, but it's because you didn't buy a petite, right? It's because it's not petite. Right. And when you're a tiny person, like a smaller person, it is hard because everything is shortened in different ways. I don't want to tell you to get rid of stuff. Like I hate telling people to get rid of that because I don't hate it, but it's like, it's just it's
not the best. And Stacey, our time is all up.
It is all up, but I could talk to you all day.
Thank you. Okay. You've given me lots to think about.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like you have more clarity? Do you feel like
yes,
more sense? Yes. To you? And definitely check the comments too. I will be really curious to see what other people have to say in the comments. Their opinion. Okay. So
I will definitely do that.
All of this up very quickly. If you would like a chance to have 15 minutes with me, and of course, if just as an aside, I am going on maternity leave in the winter. So if you win Style Star from December, January, or February, you will just get pushed out to the spring. I will not forget about you. You will still get your time, but you will just have to wait till I'm back from maternity leave. But if you want a chance to win 15 minutes of my time to ask me whatever questions you have about style or fashion, all you have to do is be the top engagement person. I don't ever figure out how to say this well. The top engager, top poster, it's a comment post likes of the month, and I will send you the information and get you set up. So thank you, Becki. This was actually a really great question. Something different to answer, kind of wrapping a lot of things up into one.
So, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I hope you have more clarity, and I can't wait to see some custom dresses from you. That's going to be really exciting. So
I think it will be fun. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. Hey there, gorgeous. Before you go, if this episode inspired you and helped you to feel more confident, I'd love for you to leave me a written review on Apple Podcasts. Second, hop on over and join the free Facebook group at christianstylecommunity.com, where you'll find Jesus-loving women just like yourself learning about style and building a dream wardrobe. Get dressed, be radiant.